Whilst display furniture is being removed from the museum in preparation for its new exhibition at Collins Barracks, a visitor of a different sort is prying open some of the oldest display cases in the building. Holland-based taxidermist Leon Butler visits Dublin twice a year to deliver and collect more specimens as part of an ongoing restoration of the museum's 10,000 public exhibits, while also delivering a new moose to go on display at the riding school exhibition. Amongst the 160 animals being brought to Holland for restoration is King George's Indian tiger.
Tiger probably hasn't left the museum at all since 1913, and it's kind of ironic. It's the end of the years of the Celtic tiger, so it actually symbolises an awful lot of change over the years. Okay, I'm going to take him back. It's a Celtic tiger. We just collected it in government buildings. This is the taxidermy on its way out to be cleaned for the part of our restoration project.
I thought your phones were gone.
Of course they are, but we don't want to be paying any attention to things like that. They were going to the Netherlands. It's one of the few places you can find taxidermists these days.
All exhibits have to undergo a rigorous cleaning process to remove up to a century's worth of dirt and dust. The tiger is here being treated to a hot soapy bath before being smothered in a bed of sawdust.
Blijf maar op de zie. Hier is nog erg.
The dust helps speed up the drying process while removing any remaining dirt.
Snelcursus, ja. Wow. Doe hem maar zo op. Velten, hè?
The tiger is then brought outside to be blow-dried. Once cleaned, more intricate work can now begin on restoring the tiger's body and face, using a variety of techniques, including wax and spray paint.
De tijger is in goede conditie. Heel veel dieren, daar vallen gaten in. De tijger heeft wel een paar plekjes die stuk zijn. En die kun je ook zo helemaal niet zien.
Restoration work is bringing restorers face to face with problems affecting the animals from Dublin due to unfavorable conditions in the building.
The major problem is that they are very, very dirty. So, especially the game heads who are hanging on the wall there, they were very dirty.
Sommige huiden die zijn zo droog dat je als je hem aanraakt al een gat in duwt. Dat verft makkelijker en af en toe moet je hele huidstukken verven, zodat kale plekken niet meer opvallen. Bij deze zijn het alleen de ogen, de neus en de mond.
The collaboration between the Natural History Museum and Butler Workshop began in 2002 with the making of Spoticus the giraffe. Spoticus had to be made inside the museum, as there are no doors big enough to bring a full-size giraffe into the building.
So we did the form and everything what we can do before. We did in the workshop in Holland. Then we traveled to Dublin, put the form together and make that giraffe inside the museum.
It has been decided to make Spoticus the star exhibit at the new exhibition in Collins Barracks, posing the challenge of how to take him out of a building with no particularly large openings.
The exhibition is now at the stage where all of the display cases are in place. Graphic artwork is going up on the walls of the exhibition at the moment, and this is the point at which you bring in your large key objects. So we're moving a giraffe and a giant deer skeleton. We're also moving much more manageable things like a zebra. The giraffe has never moved within the building before, and this giant deer hasn't moved since about 1909. So we've got a lot of interesting things and nobody to ask the questions.
When he is in two pieces, you have to call me.
We have to lift him up slightly forward, about 2 inches. And then he's all ours. Yeah? 1, 2, 3. Up. He's clear. He's clear. He's coming down. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Out we go. Yeah.
All museum exhibitions give the appearance of the traditional swan, the sort of the perfection sliding along with the mad panic under the waterline, and this is no different at all. We're on the last day of installation of exhibits before the cleaning process and then the exhibition opening to the public tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. So it's all those fiddly little things at the last minute, or those little excitements that you find where you go to put a shelf on a series of battens within the case and find that the shelf is 3 inches too long.
As preparations for the exhibition are coming to a close, staff have set out to replicate the museum's distinctive interior style, while attempting newer ways of interacting with its audience.
So as you walk in to the exhibition, you start off with what you might consider the familiar interior of the Merrion Street building. So you've got a giant deer skeleton, you've got Victorian wooden cases with familiar family groups of foxes and badgers and otters. And we've reconstructed a section of the Merrion Street interior, complete with a giraffe and a moose. We've put in an area where people can sit and children and adults can feel objects that are out on open display, like an elephant's jaw or a block of the Giant's Causeway basalt. It will generate a demand. It will start to explain that they're not going to see a restored natural history museum opening very soon, because the budget simply isn't there in the current climate to give them the building that they think probably is being prepared all of this time, and that's why it's being closed.
In late 2009, it was announced that the museum on Merrion Street would partially reopen to the public, after being closed for over 2.5 years.
It's something that I think Dubliners take for granted very much. Though, as much as they love it, and as much as they consider it a part of their national patrimony and this fantastic gem that we have that nobody else has. And a lot of people I've talked to since the museum has been closed said, oh, I hadn't gone there for years, now I wish I had gone, I think the place will be chock-a-block when it opens again. I can't wait.
The museum, I think, appeals to the public on a number of fronts. And to be honest, I think the most important one for a lot of adults is nostalgia. It's one of the few major interiors anywhere in Ireland that hasn't changed since they were children themselves. It's a place where people have brought generations of the same family have come in, and they love coming back to somewhere that they know what they're going to see. And that's a very rare experience in this day and age.
Although the museum's interior remains largely as it was before, some modifications have had to be made to the building.
We've been putting up some partition walls that will control smoke in the event of fire and bring us up to a better fire standard. And we've also been doing things to improve access into the building. What will be a practical issue for many people will be that the access up onto the balcony levels won't be possible until we do the major restoration project.
While plans for a major restoration of the museum remain on hold, its staff are keeping an optimistic outlook as to its future.
Since the building was opened in 1857, it's had very little tender loving care. I think it's going to be the first time that the museum has ever had the care and conservation that it so desperately needs.
There was a significant amount of money set aside to restore this building, and that's no longer available, and we're going to have to work to build the support for that project and be absolutely ready to hit the ground running when the economy picks up. It will bring the museum into a position where it's got a much longer lifespan.